Everyone, welcome to the show. So, polling for Donald Trump and Elon Musk and his boy band, hashtag sad, in all caps. And we're starting to see a pattern in regard to what's weighing Trump's numbers down. So, first up, Real Clear Politics looked at all of the polls that were conducted in February of March, and then they calculated the average. So, here's what this looks like. For those on the podcast, it shows the results of 15 polls. And this was asking respondents if they approve or disapprove of the job that Donald Trump is doing. As you guys can see, the average is 48.4% disapprove, 48.2% approve. So not a really big difference, kind of, just on par, approve, disapprove. But take a look at the very last poll in the bunch, the Harvard Harris poll. It shows Trump with a +9 approval. Harris, as I've mentioned before, is such a horrifically biased and terrible polling company. Even Harvard staff has called them out and said Harvard needs to break ties with them. They need to not use them anymore. So that poll and the other one there, the RMG research poll that gives him a +10, they really skewed the results in Trump's favor. And these two are really outliers that are just BS, because even the Rasmussen and Trafalgar polls, which they always lean right, they only have Trump at +5. So they are biased and they're only catching a +5. In any case, Gallup also conducted a poll right after Trump took office. At that time, he was at -1 approval. Still underwater, but not as bad. Well, a few weeks after that, they did another poll. He came in at -5. So it is shifting and not in the right direction for him. The Hill news outlet also recently looked at a weekly average of polls. What they found is that his approval rating is 45.6%, and disapproval is at 49.8%. So underwater there as well by about 4 points. And what's really dragging him down is, as I mentioned last week, dissatisfaction with the way that he's handling the economy. Emerson College, they just released their findings, and they said that although Trump is still above water in his approval rating, so 47% approve, 45% disapprove, his economic policies are not doing it. They're just not cutting it for the American people. So as you can see in this graph, Trump's most popular policy remains immigration and deportations. 48% approve, 40% disapprove. But he's underwater in regard to his handling of the Russia-Ukraine war, the Israel-Hamas war. And when it comes to how he's treating Canada, only 37% approve, 47% disapprove. But he scored his highest disapproval in relation to the economy. And that is just really stunning. That is a total 180 from how it used to be. Only 37% of respondents in this Emerson poll agreed with his handling of the economy. 48% disagree. So massively underwater on the economy. And for anyone on the podcast, in that same question, 15% of the people that they polled said, "Oh, I'm neutral," or, "I don't have any real feeling on it." So I think that these are the people who are like, let's wait and see. They're willing to give Trump a chance and see where things end up. So maybe they were first-time Trump voters, or, maybe they left Trump and came back to him and they're willing to give him a shot. Yeah, not good. And when their pollsters asked, is Trump making the economy better or worse, in your opinion? These numbers are bad. So 46% said he is making things worse economically, and only 28%, these have to be lobotomy patients. That's all I can think, because 28% said, "Oh no, he's making the economy better." And then check this part out. When they asked if their personal finances or their family's finances are better or worse than they were a year ago, a plurality, so not a majority, but a plurality, 39% said they are worse off. That was the largest group. 37% said, my finances are about the same. Only 24% of these people said they are better off financially than they were a year ago. CNN also conducted a poll, and 56% of their respondents disapprove of Trump's handling of the economy. So he is just not doing well with economics this term, this time around. And there was also an Economist YouGov poll that showed that Trump's numbers have fallen off a cliff. And this is in regard to the economy. So right after Trump took office, 45% approved and 39% disapproved of his handling of the economy. So obviously that was based on his last term. That has now more than flip-flopped. So as of mid-March, as of the middle of this month, only 38% approve of his handling of the economy, 52% now disapprove. And check out the results of this new NBC polling.
Let's just start with Trump himself, that 47% job approval rating. Two ways of looking at this. First of all, if you compare Trump to every recent president, this point after coming into office, Trump's number here is the lowest, significantly the lowest of any of his modern predecessors. And then for Trump, there is, we say, not slippage since the election, but the warning signs. And it's on broader areas of his leadership. Look at this. And all of these areas you see right here, Kristen, foreign policy, the Russia-Ukraine war, majority disapproval at this point for Trump.
And the economy is a red flag because that's the lowest number we have seen on the economy in the history of our poll for President Trump.
That's right. In his first term, this was the exception. He had low numbers overall his first term, but not on the economy. But the economy and inflation this time, look at those numbers and you look at the mood on the economy. Only 18% of voters say it's excellent or good right now. Our pollsters looked at this right before the election. That number was 26% excellent, good before the election. So it has come down. And then you ask folks a little differently here. It's what is Trump doing on inflation? His agenda, his approach. Are you satisfied with what he's trying to do? 43% say they're satisfied, majority not satisfied. And this is the real warning sign for the administration right now. Independents, basically 3 out of 4 not satisfied with the effort that's being put into the question of inflation right now.
So not looking good. And if he continues down this same path, people can really turn on him. Now, what's funny is if you go and read the comments in conservative groups, they are cherry picking one particular stat, one particular part of that MSNBC poll or NBC poll, and they're using it to prove, oh, see, Trump is so popular. His policies are so popular. Take a look at this one thing that they're using.
This really jumped out. We asked folks, is it on the right direction or the wrong direction? That 44% you say right direction, that's up since November. And if that doesn't seem like a lot, the last time it cracked 40%, you got to go back to 2012.
So the online MAGA crowd is cheering over this. And they're claiming because 44% of Americans now believe the country is on the right track, this must prove everyone loves Trump. Everyone loves what he's doing. So, I guess they're just going to ignore the other part of that poll, and the fact that a majority, 54%, said, no, I think the U.S. is still headed in the wrong direction. And that number is absolutely going to increase in the coming months if Trump and Musk continue to destroy the economy as they have been. So, and, they misread the room. They misread what is going on because, when people were saying that the country was on the wrong track and it had such a high level of dissatisfaction under the Biden administration, that wasn't just because of Biden. It wasn't just because of what he was doing. It also had to do with the Supreme Court. It had to do with their ruling on Roe versus Wade. It had to do with how Republicans were just so completely cucked to Donald Trump. I mean, even I would have answered under Biden that things were on the wrong track because I saw how this country has gotten so out of hand with, shootings constantly, with domestic terrorism, with, Trump sycophants going after judges, and with how Merrick Garland completely blew it with all of his cases and not going after Trump soon enough so that his cases lingered and then never got adjudicated. So there's polling for that reason. I can't stand, because it just doesn't take any other factors into consideration, and it just gives you, a yes or no. So anyway, guys, yeah, not looking good for the Trumpster. not looking good for him, which that could be our saving grace. And people say, oh, what does it matter? He already got elected. The reason it matters is because we need his base to turn on him. We need a good number of his voters and his base to turn on him, to give permission to the Republicans in Congress to turn on him. That is the one and only thing that might save us. So this is good news. So let's hope for more of this. Let's hope that he does, unfortunately, continue down the path that he's on. I know a lot of good people are going to get hurt. Unfortunately, again, it is the one and only thing that might save our country. So anyway, I will let you know if I hear any more or when I hear more on new polling. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, please share, and subscribe. Please donate if you can. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.